We'll bring you the business news now on the programme, starting with the effects of the ongoing strikes here in France on businesses here. Our business editor, Stephen Carroll, is here with all the details. Stephen.
Stuart, the French government has promised to help those businesses that have been affected by these strikes, including giving measures which will give them longer to pay their taxes. Shops, restaurants and hotels are among the sectors that have seen a drop in earnings since the strikes began on December 5th. Now, the junior finance minister, Agnès Pannier-Runacher, is to meet with representatives of small businesses later on to discuss their situation. According to one survey, 80% of small firms say they've been hit by the disruption. The government has put in place a system of delayed payments and support for temporary layoffs that was used during last year's Yellow Vest protests. But many entrepreneurs are still struggling, as Catherine Viette now reports.
In La Rochelle, there are few people strolling the streets or sitting in cafe terraces. Not many people are checking into hotels either. For small business owners, the ongoing strike is taking a toll on their bottom line.
You see this schedule. It should be at least 30 or 40% felt during this period, but it's particularly at zero.
And across France, the story is the same, with empty streets, demonstrations, few trains and fewer tourists. This restaurant in Lille has lost half its clientele.
We have a lot of Belgian and Dutch customers who are penalized because suddenly to come here in terms of transport is quite complicated.
A survey by the Confederation of Small and Medium-Sized Firms found that 80% are affected by the strikes. 49% have seen a drop in their revenue, and 42% say their business is in danger. Without the metro, the normally lively Montmartre neighborhood in Paris is quiet. This baker says he's losing customers. He's had to cut in half the number of baguettes he makes each day, a drop in production that could have consequences for his employees.
My last option is to put them on partial unemployment. That's really a catastrophic solution because we appreciate the people we have and we don't want to lose them.
The French government has promised to give a helping hand to those business owners affected by the strikes. Officials say the measures put in place to compensate those affected during the Yellow Vest protests have been reinstated.
Let's check in on what's happening on the markets next for you. In Europe, London has started the day in the red, but we've seen some small gains in Paris and Frankfurt at the open, both of those up by 0.15%. In Asia, shares still taking a breather after the gains earlier in the week. Some profit taking by investors there. There's the Kospi and Seoul showing some gains in trading in Asia earlier. Little reaction evident on the markets to the impeachment vote in the United States. That's not worrying investors for now anyway. Uber, moving on, is to pay $4.4 million to settle claims of gender discrimination within the ride-hailing firm. It comes after an investigation by the US workplace rights watchdog, which found the company had permitted a culture of sexual harassment and retaliation against those who complained. A blog post written in 2017 by former Uber employee Susan Fowler about her experience at the company sparked the Me Too movement against harassment. The money will be used to compensate current or former employees who experienced this behaviour or retaliation from 2014 to 2019. Workers at McDonald's in Chicago have staged a protest outside a restaurant in the city, saying that violence in their area is making their workplace too dangerous. They're calling on the fast food chain to take steps to improve their safety. Some of those demonstrating spoke about the incidents they've seen while at work.
There was an incident where this woman came in and attacked another young female with a hammer. And I was there. I saw when the female went to her purse, but when I saw her go to the purse, I went back to the store because I was so afraid that she might have had a gun.
Finally, for me, for the second year in a row, an 8-year-old boy is the biggest earner on the video site YouTube. According to a list compiled by Forbes magazine, Ryan, of Ryan's World, there he is, earned $26 million in the year to June. That's up $4 million on the previous years. Now, he makes videos reviewing toys. This is number 2 and number 3 on the list. Dude Perfect, number 2, $20 million. And this is Russian-American Nastya in third at $18 million. She's just 5 years old, by the way. Now, between them, the top 10 earners raked in some $162 million over the year. Forbes calculates these figures based on ads, sponsored content, merchandise sales and tours. Because, of course, we're all signing up to go and meet our favourite YouTubers when they come on tour.
I feel like I should be lying down behind the desk. Really? That's
maybe we could film that and make money out of it.
Yes, well, he probably could. At least 5 centimes. Thank you very much, Steve. Stephen Carroll with Business on France 24. It's amazing what people will pay for, isn't it?